Fran, the defense right now. Second straight game you allowed.
Defense wasn't great. Can't turn it over 18 times. Can't go on the road, turn it over 18 times and win.
Was it the second half? Did you try to slow down the pace a little bit just to kind of keep it?
No, we're fine with the pace. We like to play at that pace, and clearly they played better than we did tonight at that pace. We did. But no, we were fine with playing at that pace.
Fran, could you talk about, I think you guys got like a lot of points, maybe 36, some kind of 30 points in the paint in the first half. The second half, I think you only got like between 10 and 15. What was the difference on IU's defense?
We didn't throw it in. You know, I mean, they were switching, and we just kept putting our head down to drive. That's where a lot of the turnovers came from that we're talking about. You know, we had some guys open. I thought Mel had some good looks at it. You know, he missed a couple. He made a couple, but he missed a couple. Same with Gabe. You know, they're our primary post-up guys.
You hold, Yogi and Vonleh to combine.
Yeah, you figure if they're getting 12, we're winning, right? I mean, that's what you think. But you got to give them credit. I mean, Sheehy was great. Robinson was great. But they got a lot of different guys that have talent. I mean, you look at a number of different guys came off the bench, and Holloway gets 2 buckets, Pereira gets 1, Davis gets 1. It was an and 1. So a lot of different guys were scoring, and that's the kind of team they have. I think they're an unselfish group. I mean, everybody knows Yogi's the man, but Sheehy was on fire. They got on the ball.
Fran, you've lost 3 straight now. Is there anything that you see in these 3 losses that's kind of together?
Well, we had not been turning the ball over, and we lost to Wisconsin. Only turned it over 7 times. I mean, the last 2 games. I mean, teams shot the ball extremely well. This team shot the ball, well, not necessarily from 3. But we've been making more mistakes. There's no question about that. And mistakes happen at both ends of the floor. Defensively, like you were talking about, Scott, I mean, we weren't solid, consistently solid. We were solid at times. We got, 10 steals. You get 10 steals, I mean, you're going to road, but they had 11 steals.
With the pace you play, that's going to lead to more points, obviously. So it's not.
Yeah, it's going to lead to more points, but you don't want it to lead to more turnovers and more quick shots and more contested shots. And I think we did that. We didn't throw it inside enough. We drove into packs of people. We quick shot the ball at times. The wrong guy putting his head down and driving, spinning in traffic. It's not who we are. We had guys that were doing uncharacteristic things. And on the road against a team that's going to run out off of your mistakes and score off of your mistakes. And they've consistently done that. They've had more trouble scoring at half court. They're fine in transition. So, our shot selection and our ability to take care of the ball and execute was not as good as it needed to be. So now you go back and say, okay, well, is it my fault that did we stay in motion too long? Should we have gone to something? We went to a couple different things offensively to try to get us to be a little more patient, I thought. And when we were, we kind of climbed back into the game because it got away from us there for a minute, and then we got back in it. Being a little more patient, and because you're not going to get foul calls either if you're driving into packs of people and quick shooting the ball. They're not, and I don't blame them.
Fran, I have to ask you. This game was supposed to have been played 10 days ago, and I mean, I know this is hypothetical, but do you see anything that? If it had been played 10 days ago, that you guys might have won and this had all been different?
I think it's unfair. I wish it was played 10 days ago, now that we lost. But I mean, everybody was sort of in the same boat, except we had to make 2 trips, okay. But that's, the only thing you can say is, if somebody would have gotten hurt or killed that night, we couldn't take that risk. So you play the game on a date that you think makes the most sense for everybody involved, and I don't want to make an excuse as to that's why we lost. I don't think that's fair. I think that is disrespectful to Indiana and to Coach Green. And he did a great job preparing his guys. They played hard. They played better than us. You know, we needed to play better.
It seemed almost like a carbon copy of the other night where you had a sequence. I think you were up 60-53. Then you had 6 straight possessions where you didn't score, 4 of which were either turnovers, offensive
Very
foul.
similar. You're right, Scott. I mean, we had that one stretch. We had it right at the rim, and then they scored on it. You know, so we could have gone up 9. Instead, it's 5. You know, it was those kinds of plays seem to keep happening to us. And I think, you know, we scored quickly early in the second half, and that's why we kept quick shooting the ball. And you know, when the other team's on a run, you don't want to quick shoot the ball on the road. Never good.
How do you turn this around heading into the Big Ten tournament and the NCAA tournament for you guys?
The only thing you can do is keep working. Okay, you got to keep watching film. You got to keep working with guys individually. You got to talk to guys individually. You got to boost their confidence if they're struggling. And you know, at some level, you got to look at the things that we did wrong. But at some level, you got to just move on and say, okay, you know, we're going to be better. Collectively, we're going to be better coaches. You're going to be better players, and we're going to fight a little bit harder and be a little more solid. You know, because you know, Purdue's going to get after us defensively. We turn the ball over 18 times. It's going to be hard to win.
Going back to defense a little bit, was it more about rotations and stuff during the transitions?
No, the transition stuff you're talking about, we didn't sprint back at the level that was necessary to stop this team. We were getting back, but we weren't getting back and getting it put together. You know, we were back, but it wasn't put together. You got to put it together. Okay, who's got the ball? Okay, where's Vonleh? Where's Yogi? You know, where's Sheehy? You know, where are the drivers? Where are the shooters? Who's in the game? Because he plays a lot of guys. You know, so do I. We play at that pace. We play a lot of guys. Okay, who's in the game? Is Etherington in the game, or is Robinson in the game? Okay, you're going to guard one, guard another way. We never. It's kind of like we just kind of ran back and then tried to figure it out. It's too late because they're right up your back and they're throwing it to the rim, or they're back cutting you from the corner while you're staring at the ball, and you're not going to get stops that way. Not against this team.
Just about every team in the league's faced this type of adversity. You know, I think Wisconsin lost 5 out of 6 at one point. Ohio State's.
So this league is. You're right.
Yeah. But this is your first kind of dip. 3-game slide. Is this where you kind of rely on that veteran leadership to kind of?
Yeah, I mean you have to. You got to allow those guys in the locker room to get it organized. With us out, pull everybody together and get it figured out. We've got character in that locker room. I love those guys. And, I found even myself was, maybe I need to back off a little bit, because I've been trying to be real intense these last couple of games. And there's a fine line between intensity that's helpful and intensity that may not be as productive as I'd like it to be. So, I have to try to look at that and evaluate that as well.
Do you think they're capable of getting back together?
Yeah, no question. Yeah, no question about it.
As far as Purdue, just because it's next game, how did that conversation go with trying to get them?
I wasn't involved in it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wouldn't know. I mean, my understanding was it was made at the administrative level, and their administration, was phenomenally professional. It was a unique situation. We're thrilled that nobody got hurt. We're going to put the game. It's the end of February. We're going to put the game. It's kind of the only date, and I guess they could have kept it where it was, and it would have really made it tough for us. They get an extra day to prepare. We get an extra day to prepare. And we'll go play the game.
It just seems like one of those situations where competitor, hey, we're the ones that travel. You keep the same. It's too bad for you.
Yeah, and I don't. My impression was there wasn't a lot of arm twisting. That they were just said, you know what, under the circumstances, we'll go with it. But I don't know that because I wasn't there. More a part of the conversation.
Okay.